Okay, Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Bella Nabila with my SID number 332301112. Okay, so today I would like to present and doing an interpreting project for my final exam task. There is three video in my project. I already choose video number 2, 4, and number 5. Okay, without any further ado, let's be started. Okay, I will start from video number 2 as my first video for interpretation.
What is a
Apa
nation?
yang dimaksud dengan sebuah bangsa?
The attempt to
Upaya
formally
untuk
define the
mendefinisikan
nation
bangsa sebagai
as a
sebuah
political
konsep
concept dates
politik
back
secara
to
formal dimulai pada
1882
tahun
when French
1882
philosopher and
ketika
historian
filsuf
Ernest
sejarawan
Renard
Prancis Ernest
published his
Renan
seminal essay
menerbitkan
titled
esainya
What is a
terkenal
Nation?
berjudul What is Nation.
In this essay,
Dalam esai tersebut,
Renard defines
Renan
the nation
menjelaskan
as
bahwa
a
bangsa
large-scale
merupakan
solidarity
sebuah solidaritas
constituted
dalam
by the
skala
feeling of
besar yang
sacrifices
terbentuk dari
that one
kesadaran
made in
akan
the past
pengorbanan
and of
yang telah
those that
dilakukan
one
di
is
masa lalu
separated to make in
serta
the future.
kesiapan untuk terus berkorban di masa depan.
This explains
Karena
why
itu,
Renard
Renan
believes that if we are to
berpendapat
imagine the
bahwa jika
nation
kita
as
ingin
good
memandang
and worthy of
bangsa
continuous
sebagai sesuatu yang
sacrifice,
baik dan
we
layak
must
dipertahankan
realize
melalui
that it
pengorbanan,
necessarily
kita
entails
juga
a
harus
process of
menyadari bahwa
forgetting.
pembentukan sebuah bangsa
This is
selalu
because,
melibatkan
for Renard,
proses
the efforts to obtain
merupakan sebagai
national
sejarah.
unity,
Hal
either
tersebut
in the name
terjadi
of
karena
civic or
upaya
ethnic
untuk mencapai
nationalism,
persatuan nasional,
involve
baik
acts of
kesadaran
violence
nasionalisme
and subsequent
sipil atau
forgetting.
nasionalisme etnis, seringkali
Based on the
melibatkan
initial
tindakan
conception of a
kekerasan yang
nation
kemudian
developed by
dilupakan
Renard,
seiring jalannya waktu.
scholars have come up with a more
Berdasarkan
formal
gagasan awal
definition
Renan,
of a
para
nation,
akademisi
namely,
kemudian merumuskan
a
definisi
community
yang
of
lebih
people
formal
formed on the
mengenai
basis
bangsa.
of a combination of
Bangsa
shared
dipahami
features
sebagai
such as
sebuah
language,
komunitas
history,
masyarakat yang
ethnicity,
terbentuk karena
culture, and
memiliki
territory.
berbagai kesamaan seperti bahasa,
Put
sejarah etnis,
differently,
budaya,
a
dan
nation
wilayah.
is the collective
Dengan kata
identity of a
lain,
group
bangsa
of people
merupakan
understood
identitas
as
kolektif
defined by
suatu kelompok
language,
masyarakat yang
history,
disatukan oleh
ethnicity,
unsur-unsur tersebut.
culture, and
Oleh sebab
territory.
itu, bangsa memiliki dimensi politik
And
yang
for
lebih
this
kuat
reason,
dibandingkan sekadar
a nation
kelompok
is
etnis.
generally more overtly political than an
Bahkan
ethnic
banyak
group.
ahli menganggap
In fact, many scholars considered it as a fully
bangsa
mobilized
sebagai
or
kelompok etnis
institutionalized
yang
ethnic
telah
group.
berkembang dan terorganisasi
Later
secara
on,
penuh.
the famous political
Selanjutnya,
scientist
ilmuwan politik
Benedict
Benedict
Anderson views the nation as an
memperkenalkan
imagined
pandangan
community.
bahwa bangsa adalah imagined community
For
atau
Anderson, the
komunitas
nation
yang
is an
dibayangkan.
imagined political
Menurut
community
Anderson,
that is
bangsa
culturally
merupakan
imagined
komunitas
as both
politik
inherently
yang
limited and
dibayangkan
sovereign.
secara budaya sebagai suatu yang
As we
memiliki
can
batas
see,
wilayah dan
there are
bersifat
four key
berdaulat.
elements in this
Dalam
definition.
definisi Anderson terdapat 4 unsur
First,
utama.
the nation is
Pertama,
imagined
bangsa
simply because
disebut
members of
sebagai
any
komunitas
particular nation
yang
will never meet
dibayangkan
most of their
karena
fellow
setiap anggota
members,
suatu
yet in the
bangsa
minds of each
tidak
lives
mungkin
the image
mengenal
of
dan
their
bertemu
communion.
dengan seluruh anggota lainnya. Namun
Second,
demikian,
the
mereka
nation is
tetap
imagined
memiliki
as
rasa
limited
kebersamaan
because it has
sebagai bagian
finite,
dari komunitas
yet
yang sama.
sometimes elastic,
Kedua, bangsa
boundaries
dipandang
beyond
memiliki
which other
batas-batas
nations lie.
tertentu, walaupun batas tersebut
Third,
dapat
the nation
berubah
is
tetap ada
imagined as
wilayah yang
sovereign
memisahkan
because
bangsa
the
lain.
concept of the nation
Ketiga,
itself
bangsa
was born
dianggap
in an
berdaulat
age
karena konsep
when the
bangsa
Enlightenment
lahir
and
pada
Revolution
masa ketika
were
gerakan
destroying the
pencerahan dan
legitimacy
berbagai
of the
revolusi
divinely ordained,
mulai menggugah kekuasaan
hierarchical
monarki
dynastic
yang
realm.
selama ini dianggap memperoleh esensi
Finally,
Tuhan.
the nation is imagined as a
Terakhir,
community because,
bangsa dipahami
regardless of
sebagai
the
sebuah
actual
komunitas
inequality
karena
and
memiliki,
exploitation that may
meskipun di
prevail
dalamnya
within
terdapat
each,
ketimpangan maupun
the nation
eksploitasi,
is
para
conceived
anggotanya
as a
tetap
deep,
memandang diri mereka
horizontal
sebagai bagian dari
comradeship.
sebuah persaudaraan yang setara. Dengan demikian, rasa kebersamaan dan solidaritas itulah yang menjadi dasar utama terbentuknya sebuah bangsa. Okay, now we move into the second video for interpreting. That is video number 4. What is syntax? Okay, wait. Sintaks adalah aturan dalam suatu bahasa yang menentukan urutan kata dan struktur dasar kalimat. Setiap bahasa memiliki aturan sintaks yang berbeda-beda. Aturan inilah yang membantu penutur dan pendengar memahami bagian mana yang harus muncul terlebih dahulu sehingga pesan yang disampaikan dapat dimengerti. Dengan kata lain, sintaks menjadi pedoman dalam berbicara maupun menulis agar kalimat tersusun dengan jelas, runtut, dan mudah dipahami.
Be wary of confusing syntax
Kita
or
juga perlu
semantics with
berhati-hati
diction.
agar
These
tidak
form the
menyamakan
backbone
sintaks
of
dengan
sentence
semantik maupun diksi.
construction. So,
Ketiga
let's
konsep
break
tersebut
these
merupakan
definitions
dasar dalam
down.
pembentukan kalimat,
Syntax,
tetapi memiliki
as
makna yang
just
berbeda.
mentioned, is the
Sintaks
order of the
berkaitan dengan
words in a
urutan kata
sentence.
dalam sebuah kalimat.
Diction is the
Diksi
specific
adalah
word
pemilihan
choice
kata yang
meant to express
digunakan untuk
certain
menyampaikan makna
meanings.
tersebut.
Semantics
Sedangkan
is the meaning
semantik
conveyed
membahas
by the
makna yang
particular words
dihasilkan
used.
oleh kata-kata tersebut.
We'll be focusing on syntax in this
Pada
video.
video ini,
In the English
pembahasan
language,
difokuskan
there's a
kepada
word order
sintaks.
that is
Dalam
set
bahasa
in
Inggris
stone
terdapat
for
susunan
most
kata yang
types of
umumnya digunakan
sentences.
pada
Of
sebagian
course,
besar
there are
kalimat.
always exceptions, but most of the
Walaupun
time,
ada beberapa
standard
pengecualian,
English sentences
kebanyakan
will
kalimat
follow
mengikuti
an
pola
SVO
SVO,
word order.
yaitu subjek,
Subject,
verba,
verb,
dan
object.
objek.
As in, the boy looks
Contohnya adalah
outside of the
kalimat,
window.
"The
In this
boy
example
looks
sentence, we
outside
have
of
the
window."
subject, boy,
Pada
the
contoh
verb,
tersebut,
looks,
subjeknya
and the
adalah boy,
object,
verbanya
outside.
look, sedangkan
This
objek atau
image is
pelengkapnya
an
adalah
image of an
outside
English
of the
grammar
window.
syntax tree
Gambar
used
yang
by
ditampilkan
linguists
merupakan
to
syntax
plot the
tree,
structure of
yaitu
sentences.
diagram yang
You
menggunakan
may not
oleh
often
para ahli
encounter a
bahasa
syntax
untuk
tree,
menggambarkan
but knowing how
struktur
to draw one
sebuah kalimat.
is rather
Walaupun mungkin
useful
jarang
and
ditemui,
will help you
mempelajari cara
understand
atau membuat
sentence
syntax tree
In the
sangat
chart, you can see
membantu
that the
dalam memahami
sentence is broken down
susunan
into its
kalimat.
parts, verbs,
Dalam
nouns,
diagram
articles,
tersebut,
and
kalimat diuraikan
prepositions.
menjadi beberapa
After
unsur
this
seperti
step,
verba,
the
nomina,
words are
artikel,
grouped
preposisi.
together to determine which
Setelah
parts
itu,
of the sentence
kata-kata
are
tersebut
noun
dikelompokkan
phrases,
menjadi frasa
prepositional phrases,
nomina,
or
frasa
verb
preposisi,
phrases.
dan frasa
Fun
verba.
fact,
Menariknya,
SVO
pola
is
SVO
not the only
bukanlah
word order
satu-satunya
structure.
pola urutan
Other
kata yang
languages vary
digunakan
word
di
order
berbagai
and
bahasa.
even include additional components in their syntax. In the example given with the syntax
Bahasa-bahasa
tree,
lain
the
memiliki
subject is
susunan kata yang
cat,
berbeda,
the
bahkan
verb
ada yang
is
menggunakan
sat, and the
unsur
object
tambahan
is
dalam struktur
mat. The
sintaksnya.
second picture is another
Pada
way in which
contoh sintaks
syntax
tree
can be
berikut,
written
subjeknya
out.
adalah
This
cat,
diagram
verbanya
takes the
sat, dan
sentence, the
objeknya
dog
adalah mat.
left the girl,
Gambar selanjutnya
and
menunjukkan
breaks it
cara
down
lain
into
dalam menggambarkan
articles,
struktur
nouns,
sintaks.
verbs,
Diagram
noun
tersebut
phrases,
menggunakan
and
kalimat
verb
the dog
phrases,
loved the
just
girl
like the previous
menjadi
example.
artikel nomina verba, frasa
In this
nomina,
sentence,
dan
the subject is dog, the verb is loved, and the object is
ya
girl.
seperti contoh sebelumnya.
Again,
Pada
the
kalimat ini
syntax trees
subjeknya
are
adalah
not to
dog,
be intimidating,
verbanya
but
love,
are
sedangkan
used to
objeknya
better
adalah girl.
understand the
Tujuan
structure of a
syntax tree
sentence
bukan untuk
and
mempersulit,
to reveal
melainkan
each
membantu
part's
kita
purpose
memahami
within the
fungsi
sentence.
setiap unsur dalam sebuah
An
kalimat.
additional use for
Syntax
syntax
tree
trees is
juga
that whenever a
bermanfaat
different
ketika
word
kita
order is
menemukan
used
kalimat
for a
dengan susunan
sentence,
kata yang
it can
berbeda.
be decoded. For example, if you are hearing a
Misalnya,
sentence
jika
in a
kita
foreign
mendengar bahasa
language
asing
that
yang
follows a
menggunakan pola
VSO order
VSO
or
atau
some other
pola
variation,
lainnya,
creating a syntax tree for that sentence
kita
can
dapat
help
membuat
you
syntax
to put
tree
the
untuk
words in
menguraikan kalimat
SVO
tersebut
order
dengan
so
begitu
that you might understand what's being
urutan
said.
katanya
Let's
menjadi
have a recap.
disusun kembali menjadi
One,
pola SVO
syntax
sehingga
is
maknanya
the
lebih mudah dipahami.
sentence structure.
Sebagai penutup,
Two,
mari kita simpulkan
diction is
kembali.
the choosing
Pertama,
of
sintaks
words to
adalah
relate
struktur
a
atau
certain
kalimat.
meaning. Three,
Kedua, diksi
semantics
merupakan
is
pemilihan
the
kata
meaning
untuk
that is
menyampaikan makna
expressed
tertentu.
from the words
Ketiga,
used.
semantik.
Four,
Ketiga, semantik
syntax
adalah
trees
makna
are a
yang
neat
dihasilkan dari
graphing
kata-kata
tool
yang
to
digunakan.
chart sentence
Dan
structure
keempat, syntax
and make
tree
sense
merupakan
of
alat
word order
bantu untuk
and how
menganalisis
it's
struktur
functioning in
kalimat
the world of
serta
English.
memahami urutan kata
Thanks
dalam
for
bahasa
joining
Inggris.
us for this syntax tutorial.
Terima
If you
kasih
found
telah
this video
mengikuti
to be
tutorial
helpful,
mengenai
check out the
sintaks
rest
ini.
of our
Semoga
channel for
penjelasan yang
additional help.
diberikan
See you guys next
dapat
time.
membantu dan Anda memahami materi dengan baik. Sampai jumpa pada pembahasan berikutnya. Okay, now we getting into the last video. It's video number 5 as my third video for interpreting with the title What is Coronavirus? Okay, wait. I will start it.
For almost a decade, scientists chased the source of a deadly new virus through China's tallest mountains and most isolated caverns. They finally found it here, in the bats of Shitao Cave. The virus in question was a coronavirus that caused an epidemic of severe acute respiratory syndrome, or SARS, in 2003. Coronaviruses are a group of viruses covered in little protein spikes that look like a crown, or corona in Latin. There are hundreds of known coronaviruses. 7 of them infect humans and can cause disease. The coronavirus SARS-CoV causes SARS, MERS-CoV causes MERS, and SARS-CoV-2 causes the disease COVID-19. Of the 7 human coronaviruses, 4 cause colds, mild, highly contagious infections of the nose and throat. 2 infect the lungs and cause much more severe illnesses. The 7th, which causes COVID-19, has features of each. It spreads easily but can severely impact the lungs. When an infected person coughs, droplets containing the virus spray out. The virus can infect a new person when the droplets enter their nose or mouth. Coronaviruses transmit best in enclosed spaces where people are close together. Cold weather keeps their delicate casing from drying out, enabling the virus to survive for longer between hosts, while UV exposure from sunlight may damage it. These seasonal variations matter more for established viruses, but because no one is yet immune to a new virus, it has so many potential hosts that it doesn't need ideal conditions to spread. In the body, the protein spikes embed in the host cells and fuse with them, enabling the virus to hijack the host cell's machinery to replicate its own genes. Coronaviruses store their genes on RNA. All viruses are either RNA viruses or DNA viruses. RNA viruses tend to be smaller, with fewer genes, meaning they infect many hosts and replicate quickly in those hosts. In general, RNA viruses don't have a proofreading mechanism, whereas DNA viruses do. So when an RNA virus replicates, it's much more likely to have mistakes, called mutations. Many of these mutations are useless or even harmful, but some make the virus better suited for certain environments, like a new host species. Epidemics often occur when a virus jumps from animals to humans. This is true of the RNA viruses that cause the Ebola, Zika, and SARS epidemics, and the COVID-19 pandemic. Once in humans, the virus still mutates, usually not enough to create a new virus, but enough to create variations or strains of the original one. Coronaviruses have a few key differences from most RNA viruses. They're some of the largest, meaning they have the most genes. That creates more opportunity for harmful mutations. To counteract this risk, coronaviruses have a unique feature, an enzyme that checks for replication errors and corrects mistakes. This makes coronaviruses much more stable, with a slower mutation rate than other RNA viruses. While this may sound formidable, the slow mutation rate is actually a promising sign when it comes to disarming them. After an infection, our immune systems can recognize germs and destroy them more quickly if they infect us again, so they don't make us sick. But mutations can make a virus less recognizable to our immune systems, and therefore more difficult to fight off. They can also make antiviral drugs and vaccines less effective because they're tailored very specifically to a virus. That's why we need a new flu vaccine every year. The influenza virus mutates so quickly that new strains pop up constantly. The slower mutation rate of coronaviruses means our immune systems, drugs, and vaccines might be able to recognize them for longer after infection and therefore protect us better. Still, we don't know how long our bodies remain immune to different coronaviruses. There's never been an approved treatment or vaccine for a coronavirus. We haven't focused on treating the ones that cause colds. And though scientists began developing treatments for SARS and MERS, the epidemics ended before those treatments completed clinical trials. As we continue to encroach on other animals' habitats, some scientists say a new coronavirus jumping to humans is inevitable. But if we investigate these unknowns, it doesn't have to be devastating. Students and teachers all over the world did their part to help slow the spread of COVID-19 by staying home. But what about their graduation?
Okay, that's all from me. Thank you so much for watching my video, and thank you so much for Miss Retno for teaching us in this semester. It's very happy and glad to have so many new insights from you, from your subject that is interpreting. It's very fun and so many insights. Okay, thank you. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.